Welcome, everyone. Glad you could join us. These are interesting times, so we all are getting used to the world of Zoom and Microsoft Teams and virtual meetings, so we truly appreciate everyone joining us today. My name is Lonny Haschel. I am the newly elected chairperson of the National Child Passenger Safety Board, and we are grateful for the opportunity for you folks to visit today. Real quick introductions on the call. All of you probably heard Amy Artuso. She's the CBS Board Secretariat. Laura Dunn with National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and Judy Hammond with National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Randy Shabra, also a CBS Board member with Austin Travis EMS. We have Adele Polson on with Westat, and then Tammy Franks with the National Safety Council. Again, we really, truly appreciate your time. We know that you have a lot going on, and we wanted to take this opportunity to visit with you. The National Child Passenger Safety Board will be sharing state certification data maps based on 2019 information. These maps have been created by Westat's Center for Transportation Technology and Safety Research, and we really appreciate Westat for their ongoing support with child passenger safety and the collaboration that we have with them. Additionally, we're going to be revealing a new section of the State Coordinators Resource page on the cpsboard.org website, which will include some new data information for you. Again, the board appreciates the opportunity to meet with our coordinators and our NHTSA region representatives, some of which are going to be on the call, and we truly appreciate their support in the work that all of us do, that dedication that we have. Real quick on the agenda, we're going to do just a real quick overview of the Child Passenger Safety Board, bring you up to date and up to speed. It's timely because we just had a change of the guard, as it were. The board itself been around for a while, since the 1990s. The reason it was brought into fruition was there was a need for a group of relevant stakeholders to oversee the curriculum. And many of you out there were part of that, so we are truly grateful once again. It was formally launched in 1998, we just celebrated our 20-year anniversary. The mission of the board is to save lives, prevent injuries, and promote child passenger safety through education, mentorship, engagement, and innovation, which is why we are here today, to engage with you folks. This is the current executive committee of the board. For more information on the board itself and the members and such, I would encourage you to go to cpsboard.org if you are interested in finding out about all of our board members and everyone who takes part in that. We do want to take just a moment to welcome our new board members. These folks are coming on board and just were put in last week, actually. So we have a brand new CPS advocate. We have a new injury prevention healthcare member, and we have a new child restraint manufacturer representative. Again, encourage you to go to cpsboard.org to learn more about the board itself, the members, and the new members. On the board, we have several committees. We have the membership committee, curriculum, certification, recertification, communications, engagement, and data. The reason I bring these up is because we have some openings coming up. My position, the field representative, so the public safety, law enforcement, and the public safety fire EMS field representative positions are coming open next year. So we really would love to have your assistance as state coordinators in promoting these jobs to get some individuals in to sit on the National Child Passenger Safety Board. The application period itself is going to open May 25th. I encourage you to watch the board's social media pages for that. But if you could help us, we certainly would be grateful for you getting the word out about these two new positions that are coming open. Additionally, one real quick mention about the curriculum, which it's out there. A lot of us have not had the chance to teach it yet, but it's out there. Recently, actually last week, there's been a curriculum update and FAQ webinar added to the CPS board website. So it's for instructors out there. It's under the Instructor Protected Materials section. So please take a look at that. Hopefully it'll answer some of your questions. If you do have suggestions, please use the curriculum feedback form when submitting those questions or comments about what we need to do or we need to change. We take that stuff very seriously, and we like to listen to what you have to say. Real quick, again, congratulations to our 2020 Child Passenger Safety Award winners. The reason we mention this real quick is because the award application process is open. So if you know someone in your state that you would like to nominate for Technician of the Year, Instructor of the Year, Team of the Year, we would encourage you to do that and take advantage of that. All that, again, is on cpsboard.org. That's what the new page looks like. If you've not been there, I'd encourage you to go take a look at what we've got going on there. The website itself has been updated, so kudos to our board members who help with that. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Laura Dunn and Judy Hammond to take care of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration update. And again, we thank you for joining us.
Hi, this is Laura. Can you hear me? Hello. Well, hi, my name is Laura Dunn, and I work in NHTSA's Office of Occupant Protection, and I'm the child passenger safety subject matter expert in that office. And I manage the agreements that both the board falls under as well as the certification program. So I'm really excited to be able to talk to all of you today. I wanted to give just some quick updates about some things that are new and timely that everybody can use. So can we advance the slide? There we go. So I wanted to alert you guys to finally the updated images that are now available in our image library. So these can be accessed through Traffic Safety Marketing. You go to the Child Car Safety tab. And then as you can see over here on the left, under Miscellaneous is where you can click. And can we advance this slide? There we go. Oh, go back one. Right there. So under Images, and it takes you to an external link. It's not our typical image library. There are a lot of images, and they are high quality. So we need to host them externally. So you click on that. Let's advance the slide. And you'll find them. So they're categorized, and as you're going through them and you see things that may not be where they're supposed to be, please go ahead and shoot me an email. And so I know, and we can move them. I've already gotten a couple emails that, hey, I think this should be in misuse, or this should actually be in boosters. So please let me know. My email is laura.dunn@dot.gov, and we will get those changed as soon as possible. And also under the misuse folder, we're actually going to do a little watermark that'll be like a red X on all of those images, so people can know that they're misused and they won't be misused. We wanted to get them online as soon as we could, but that's something that we're going to be doing going forward. So just to let you guys know. And Tracy, I see your question about downloading and that they were too large. So what my IT folks told me, and I'll email you about this, but if you try to do several at one time, they're supposed to zip automatically. So if they're not doing that, we'll talk, and I can try to troubleshoot that for you. But please enjoy these new images. I hope you guys find them useful. I appreciate it. And Judy, I think that is all I have.
Okay, thanks, Laura, and welcome everybody. I am Judy Hammond, and I work in the Office of Grants Management and Operations in headquarters, and I am the regional representative to the board. I work with our 10 regional CPS coordinators, who in turn work with you to get our child passenger safety information on the web and everything. I have two locations on the web that I'd like to call your attention to, and that's the training contacts by state for child passenger safety. And this is a particular important thing because a lot of the folks look at this and see who their contacts are in their state if they need to schedule a class or they have a question or something like that. And I encourage you to take a look at the list, and if it's not correct with your name, address, phone number, email, and all the other pertinent information, please send a note to your regional CPS coordinator. And I don't have that list up there because it's not posted on the web, but I will make it available to you. And then the next one is the inspection station locator. I know right now we're not doing many events for checking car seats. We're doing them virtually. And if we ever get back to doing things normal or a new normal, and we do them in person, this is the location that parents and caregivers can go to find an inspection station in their particular area. And again, this is, we rely on y'all to help us keep it current. And again, if you have any corrections or deletions or whatever for the sites, you need to, again, notify your regional CPS coordinator. I look forward to working with you and sharing your concerns and making our children ride a little bit safer in the vehicles. Thank you very much. And my email address is judy.hammond, HAMMOND, @dot.gov. Thanks.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Laura. Both appreciate your ongoing support and your continued participation with us. We really, you're the kind of the backbone of what we do, and we're grateful for that. Moving on in the agenda, we are up to the data update, which is what everybody wants to hear about. So I'm going to turn things over to Randy Shabra and Adele Polson and let you guys take it from here.
Thanks, Lonnie. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So as Lonnie mentioned earlier, we have multiple committees here on the board. And one of those committees that started just last year was the new data committee. The goal when we started the committee was to start looking at data within child passenger safety in a more focused and strategic manner. We weren't quite sure where we would start or where it would take us, but we knew there was a lot of information out there. And what we wanted to do was kind of look at that information in a way that would give us more of an objective view of what is happening or what might need to happen. And so as a committee, we first decided to move to look at the recertification and certification data. And so what we did was we combined all the data that's publicly available from Safe Kids certification on their annual reports regarding recertification rates, number of technicians in a state, number of instructors in a state, and put that into an Excel spreadsheet by state across the years. In addition to the information available on those annual reports, we also found census data, which allowed us to include population densities as well as geographical information like size of state, because we all know that a program in Rhode Island might have a different model than a program in Texas. And so we wanted to try to add in those variables to look at the different child passenger safety data points that we were going to find. So we took all that information since 2014 and put it in an Excel spreadsheet, and we're able to look not only at targeted or specific data points, like maybe your recertification year last year or the annual average recertification, but we were able to then look at the data across time and trend and see how activities were occurring within a state. So maybe states were progressing upwards in their recertification rate, or opposite, maybe downwards. Maybe they were gaining instructors, losing instructors. How does that influence recertification rate, as well as number of technicians? And we're able to trend that across time. So what you see now on the screen is a poster that was created by University of Texas bachelor's student who took the data sheet that we created, and at that point when he analyzed it, we had 2014 through 2018 data, and so that poster that he created only included up to 2018. And so what he did was he combined all that information and added a poster for his research project over at the University of Texas. He's studying epidemiology. And so through his work, as well as guidance through epidemiologists through the city of Austin and Austin Public Health, he was able to create this poster, which kind of summarizes that spreadsheet. And that poster is available on our website at cpsboard.org. So if you want to look at the summary of the information from that spreadsheet, you can see that on that poster. Or as a state coordinator, maybe you're interested in your specific state information, which we can get to you the numerical data across that time frame. If you'd like, you just have to contact us at the board and we can get you that information. But in addition to creating the spreadsheet or looking at this recertification, certification data, technicians, the quantifiable, tangible data, we started to want to look and visualize it in a different way. In the state of Texas, where I currently work, we did a project here where we took the technician and instructor data and created a visualization using geographical mapping. And it showed the distribution of technicians and instructors across the counties of our state in 1 year. And then that really painted a really good picture of where our resources were in child passenger safety, but also where they were not. We also then, since we had the data for the whole entire nation, every state, we were fortunate enough to work with WestStat, which you'll hear from in just a second, and their group, and we were able to give them that spreadsheet, and they were able to formulate these maps that you see now here. So we're showing Texas. This is what I'm most familiar with. You can see the counties, over 200 counties here in the state of Texas. We have, every state has obstacles when it comes to child passenger safety or any injury prevention programming. But to give you some perspective, to drive from the middle of our state, which is Austin, Texas, to the westmost point, which is El Paso, that's the same distance as if you were to drive from El Paso to the Pacific Ocean or San Diego. And so we have, out in West Texas, you see a lot of white counties where we have no technicians, which you can also see where we have no instructors. And so that would kind of make sense that it's hard to maintain in the technician base when you don't have the resources to potentially help with recertification. And so by creating this visualization, we were able to then share that with our state leaders, which then could use it to help, maybe this helped us decide things like where certification courses were going to be. Or here in Texas, we have some statewide programs that can go all over the state conducting child passenger safety programs. And so they can use this map to maybe focus on some areas that are lacking in child passenger safety resources to go focus some attention. And so that's how this data committee has started. That's some of the things we've accomplished this far. And these maps we have, I think I last heard, there's 36 states that have been mapped thanks to WestStat. And so again, as a or CPS state coordinator, if you think something like this would be beneficial for you and helping you kind of coordinating a model for child passenger safety within your state, you just have to let us know, and we can kind of, if your map hasn't already been created, we can work on doing that. But again, this is just one of the things we're trying to add value back to our community, back to our hardworking state coordinators, as well as instructors and technicians on the ground. And so, yeah, so that's where we have started and where we're at right now with our data committee. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Adele Paulson, who was the genius who created all these maps, to talk a little bit more about the data and how they've used it to create these maps and other stuff as well.
Thank you very much, Randy, and thank you all for your time here today. WestStat's very happy to be a data solutions partner with the National Child Passenger Safety Board. As Randy mentioned, over last summer, we started to work with the board to help map some of this data to kind of give you guys an idea of the distribution of the technicians and instructors across the states. We were able to get a file of 42,000 records from Safe Kids, and we mapped, basically we mapped the technicians' home addresses to a county so that we could make the map like you're seeing right here. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but just to quickly review, lighter colors on the map indicate fewer technicians. The darker colors indicate more technicians. The smaller dots are fewer instructors, larger dots, more instructors. And then over on the side of all the maps, or somewhere on the maps, we also have a table that gives you the specific numbers of instructors and techs by county. So if you want to look at that, as Randy said, this is just kind of the beginning of what we're doing with the National Child Passenger Safety Board, and we definitely welcome all of your feedback, your ideas, any suggestions you have for making these maps more useful. I'm happy to take it back to WSDAT's Geographic Information System staff and see what we can do to help out. Next slide, please. WSDAT's also honored to be part of the National Digital Car Seat Check Form team. We're currently working on the plan update to the NDCF. Like all applications, improving and enhancing the NDCF is a very iterative process. And it starts with collecting data. So we've all used the NDCF at seat checks and seen what works, and we've also seen what could be better. Then we gathered that feedback. The feedback came from all of our partners and our users, from technicians, from state coordinators like you, car seat manufacturers, automakers, and of course the NDCF team. The team over the past several months has reviewed every single suggestion that has been made, and we've done our best to develop and address solutions to address all of them. Many of you have provided insightful and detailed feedback, and we sincerely appreciate that. I know I have been part of several conversations with different groups, and we really appreciate the enthusiasm, the positive feedback, the suggestions, and your willingness to work with us to make this a better product. So we are currently in the process, mostly our partners at Tennessee Tech, of implementing all of these suggestions into an updated form. Next slide, please. As part of this, part of our work, we're also developing a dashboard to allow you to access the results of the analysis of the NDCF data. So this dashboard will present the results of the first year of data collection for the data form. The planned analysis currently includes breakdowns of the number of inspection station users, their ages of their children, what kind of seats they were bringing in. We're also looking very carefully at all the different misuse rates, both overall and by CRS type and vehicle type. Details on the types of CRS as you all are seeing at inspection stations, along with the types of vehicles. We'll also analyze the proportion of the population served by inspection stations. As Randy mentioned, we'll also be pulling in census data to see the population in the areas and how much of that population we're reaching with these inspection station visits. Really, what we're looking for right now as we're developing this dashboard is information from all of you. If you want to go ahead and enter into the chat box any suggestions for the types of data you would like to see come out of the digital check form, we'll do our best to accommodate that as we make our new release of the data. So the way this is going to happen is we will send you all updates as soon as we are ready to have the release. As soon as the dashboard is ready in the late summer, early fall, you'll be getting information via the Listserv about that release. And in the meantime, please feel free to reach out. I'll enter my address in the chat box here. So if you would like any more details or have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adele. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate all your hard work on this and WSDAT's continued support for gathering this information. That's a project, and my hat is off to you for all that. Moving on into the resource section, and we have joining us today Tammy Franks to discuss board resources for state coordinators.
I believe
Hello.
Tammy. Yeah, there you go.
Can you hear me now? Thank
Yeah.
you.
Sorry. Hello, everybody. This is Tammy Franks. It's a pleasure. I'm super excited to see so many people on the call. Oh my goodness, we're over 90 people now. So it warms my heart. I hope, I thank you for taking the time for joining us today. Many of you have known me. I'm the past board chair, and now I get the honor of working for the National Safety Council as the program grant manager, working on transportation safety curriculum. So hopefully you'll be seeing many new products coming your way in the near future. But what I wanted to do today was share some current resources that we have for you, and then ones that we are working on to help support trainings in the near future. So hang on, next slide, please, Lonnie. So hopefully we've talked a little bit here about the updated website. So this, hopefully you've all had a chance to visit the updated board website that was launched in January of 2020. It's pretty easy, cpsboard.org. And what we did is we actually created a section for you, for the state coordinators. And what we're trying to do is make this a one-stop shop place for you to be able to find the tools and the resources to help support you in your role. This is a new section for us. So so Lonnie is showing you here, as you go to the home page and then you click on the state coordinator resources, it will take you to this section that is all for you. So the state coordinator, your touch point to child passenger safety. So in this section, we currently have resources. The first thing is your role as a state coordinator. We know that many of you have your roles differ across the country. So depending on your state and how you're funded, what you do and how you do it looks different. But there are some common themes. And so we've tried to outline those in terms of being like a liaison between the board and Safe Kids Certification and NHTSA and being there to really help communicate out to the technicians across your state. And so that information is shared at the beginning. And then additionally, we provide you links for all the other state child passenger safety coordinators. So maybe you want to reach out to other coordinators in your area who may have similar ideas, or to see about similar ideas, or see how they handle something in their area. We also have a link to the Governor Highway Safety Administration's website for the law section so that you can check out the occupant protection laws by state. As we talked about earlier, and Amy just shared in the comments section, we have the CPS, the data that's available, and we link right to that. So the cpsboard.org/data, that will get you to the state maps, but there's also a link through your state coordinator's page. What we'd love to know is what else would be helpful for you. So, if you have ideas about information that you need, you'll see that there's a toolkit later on. There's also a link to a toolkit that takes you, for example, Laura mentioned earlier, to the traffic safety marketing website so that you can find that. There's a hyperlink to the CPS Express that's put out every other month or published every other month by Safe Kids Certification. So, what else would be helpful for you so that as a state coordinator that the board can help support you? There's are a couple of things that will be coming out following up. We'll be doing some follow-up emails to this call, and we'll have a couple links coming out for Google Forms that we ask that you distribute to your child passenger safety technicians. And one of them, or let me backtrack a little bit, both of these will be supporting a training that we're working on and hope to be releasing early next year, or later this year or early next year. But one thing that we're trying to do is that we know that many technicians now are willing and able to conduct virtual car seat checks. But there's really no way to access that list for caregivers. Some organizations are promoting it, but if you're a caregiver and you're thinking about getting your car seat checked, but you may be uncertain about meeting with somebody and wanting to be socially distanced, we want to provide education about what virtual car seat checks mean and then how to find technicians who are willing to do those. So we are we'll be sending a link, as I said, probably in the next week to two for you I would encourage you to send out to your technicians. We'll also be doing a social media blast, gathering their names. And on the cpsboard.org website, up in the car seat safety section, we'll maintain a list by state of technicians who have agreed to do virtual car seat checks. They have to be willing and able to do so, and there'll be some stipulations. We're going to ask that they agree that they'll follow the CPS Code of Conduct. We're going to ask that they're willing to be listed publicly. It will be a pretty simple list. It's going to be their name, their preferred contact method, and the platforms that they use. We're not going to get into posting hours or anything like that. That gets a little bit tricky, but just to keep it updated. So we'll do our best to keep it updated, but please help us promote it. And thank you. I think that's Tracy who said, great idea. I'm glad you find that helpful. And then I think Sid Bradley just asked out of Vermont, is there a forum or a place for coordinators to see how the virtual car seat checks are going, successes and challenges? And so I think that may be an idea for an updated webinar. We could even do a roundtable discussion with the state coordinators. So we'll add that to the notes and follow up with you here, unless I'll let Lonnie comment on that too if he has anything to add in a little bit. The other tool that we're working on developing is we'd like to develop an interactive map, again, to refer caregivers for state child passenger safety websites or resources. So say you're a caregiver and you happen upon the National Child Passenger Safety Board website, but you want to know how to get your car seat checked in Alaska, or I'm going to call on Mandy because I know she's here. And so we'd like to link to the state supported or through the state grant website to refer caregivers to that website. We're going to stay away from linking to like a document, a PDF document, or any type of document that the link would need to be updated. We want to make this as evergreen and interactive as possible. So we'll be sending out another Google form asking for your permission to link to that website if you have that. And hopefully these will go out probably either in the same email or with a week apart from each other. They're just about ready to go. So those are a couple of resources that we're developing, and we'll be incorporating them into a training that we're working on developing as well. So just to kind of give you an idea that both of those ideas came out of a brainstorming session with other instructors and technicians and subject matter experts from across the country. So I encourage you, if you have an idea like that, please let us know, and we'll do what we can to try to develop it for you. Next slide, please. The next resource that I'd like to share with you is shared on behalf of the Manufacturers Alliance for Child Passenger Safety. So their information is housed on the Safe Ride News website, and you can see right under where the website is www.saferidenews.com. And then if you go down to the footer in the bottom and click on MACPS, so the Manufacturers Alliance for Child Passenger Safety, it will take you to the page that's shown with the green around it on the right-hand side of your screen down at the bottom. And one of the features that is there's a list of conferences that if you choose to have it included, you can email Safe Ride News or the MACPS chairperson with information about your state conference. So the state, the conference name, the date, location, and contact information. And we ask you to do this, and why this is important is that it allows you to announce your conference. It also minimizes overlap by letting other coordinators know your dates. So for example, if you're planning a conference in X state and you need to you want to schedule a conference, but you don't want to you want to make certain that you can get speakers. This will allow you to make certain that you're not overlapping. Additionally, there is a speaker request form there for MACPS, so you can send that in, and then they will share it with their membership, so the child restraint manufacturers, so it makes it a little bit easier in sending a call out for your conference as well. So just know that that is a resource that is available for you as well. And then on to the next slide, please. Probably one of the most frequently asked questions at this point in time is how should we proceed with the national or with certification courses in our new normal. So, you know, we're not quite certain what this new normal is going to look like. Many of our states are now beginning to open up, that the stay-at-home mandates are being lifted and it's safer at home, or whatever terminology they're using. And it just depends on the part of your country or even the part of the state in which you're located. And so we've started receiving questions about, you know, how, you know, when should we start offering courses? How should we do it? And, you know, looking for guidelines from both the National Child Passenger Safety Board and Safe Kids Certification. So I think Safe Kids Certification and Carrie Chosmer, who is also on this call with us today, she shared this information that we're sharing here, and where it's the best advice that we can offer at this point in time is to support the CDC guidelines and recommendations, as well as your local and state health department guidelines and regulations. Taking the social distancing precautions, encouraging hand washing and use of hand sanitizer, masks. That will vary by site, but even you could do temperature checks. There's a host of ideas that you could do. We're just not sure what that's going to look like yet, and we need to work through this together. So what we would like to propose is coming together and having, if you would be interested, like a roundtable discussion, kind of brainstorming about how to handle certification courses, what accommodations you'll be making, and maybe that we can get some ideas from each other. So if this is something in which you would be interested, again, please, that comment box is there. We can see the interest. If you would find that helpful. I don't know if anybody has classes that they have scheduled in the near future that you're going to be holding, maybe in May or late May, early June, also let us know there so we could reach out to you and see how that experience is going as well. I think we're all a little shy about wanting to do that first class and trying to figure it out. As well. So, I think we have, again, let us know if that's something that would be helpful for you as well. So, and it looks like there's a class in early June. She has a small one, and there are some questions about allowing parts of the certification course online, and we don't have at this point in time, we are not there yet. So, but let's definitely keep this conversation going, I think, and we can answer some additional questions here when we finish the presentation. But I do know that we do want to acknowledge that we know that this is a hot topic for many of you out in the field, and we appreciate your thought and consideration as we move forward. Lonny, next slide, please. And then just in case you found us by some other way, I want to make certain that all of you are a part of the Child Passenger Safety State Coordinators Listserv. So it is a Google group. If you are not a member of this group, the directions are here. It's pretty easy. You just need to sign into your Google account, and then you click on the groups icon. You search for the group name Child or CPS State Coordinators, and once that group name comes up, it will prompt you to apply for membership. The group is active. I wouldn't say it's going to overwhelm your email inbox, but there's fantastic conversation. Recently, some recent topics, somebody found belt shortening clips and was offering up as they were cleaning during this time. We had a conversation really where, if you could please mute your mic if you just joined us. Thank you. We've also had where to order car seat check signs. We've had conversations about instructor stipends and what's community standard in your area. So, you can pose any type of question that you want that would be, of interest to state child passenger safety coordinators. So we want to make certain that you're aware of that resource, and we hope that you use it as well. Okay. And then I think at this point, Lonny, I'm sending it back to you. Is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you covering all that for our folks. Speaking of what Tammy was referencing, the future, we are here to support you. Moving forward, there's 4 meetings that are planned annually. Lifesavers, which obviously was canceled, Kids in Motion, and then 2 webinars, this being one of those. We hope that this is useful. We want to try to continue this trend, and as Tammy mentioned, that hot topic of what to do in the post-COVID-19 car seat world, I think really will be beneficial for everyone across the country. On how to handle things and maybe some guidance from one another, and just to learn and share and take that opportunity. In the chat box, if you think of topics, if you want more or less of these type of meetings, if you think they'll be beneficial, and then some additional suggested topics that you might have, some things that you think would be beneficial for our car seat technicians and for the state coordinators across the country, things that you're experiencing. And then how long should they be? This one was scheduled for 1 hour. Is that too long? Do you think it needs to be longer? And that may be relative to that topic. When that COVID-19 post-certification class comes up, that one may take some time because there's going to be a lot to discuss. So food for thought. Use that chat box. You can also reach out to the National Child Passenger Safety Board Secretariat. And that email is secretariat@cpsboard.org. And that's secretariat@cpsboard.org. Amy, is there any questions in the chat box that we can address real quick?
I know that Tom asked if there's any chance of allowing parts of the certification class online, and I know Carrie posted a response, but I haven't seen yet I haven't been able to read yet if it answers that question. Yes, I think it does. So Tom, let us know if that answered your question. I will say we have one person who said they want to participate in the roundtable, and they are listed on here as guest 10. So we do not know who you are. If you could let us know, that would be very helpful. Adrian shared our travel has been canceled through 2020, all of 2020, it sounds like, due to COVID. Will the meeting at Kim be available to attend virtually? Tammy, I'm not sure if you want to address that one.
Sure. So at this point in time, so this is Tammy again, and I sit on the planning committee also for the Kids in Motion conference. At this point, we're not certain what will be available virtually. We will know by the 1st of June, and we'll be making all announcements by that point in time as to what will be available virtually for people unable to travel in person.
Thank you. And then Karen asked, are they keeping a log on how the caretaker heard about the video car seat appointments?
I think, Amy, this is Tammy again. I think, Karen, you're asking that in reference to the list that's going to be available online at cpsboard.org. Is that correct? In Maryland.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to know how the caregivers found you, is that correct?
That might be a good conversation for the listserv.
I think so. I'm not certain that we can capture that. It'll be similar function to like find a tech on the certification website. So I'm not certain that we can determine the amount of, and Amy, correct me if I'm wrong, we can determine the amount of people who visit that page, but I'm not certain that we can determine anything beyond that.
Right, through cpsboard.org. That's correct.
That's correct, yeah.
And I just want to let everybody know that for everyone saying they're interested in the roundtable, we will grab your comments from the chat box after the webinar. And so we'll reach back out once we compile that list. And then Carrie has an announcement for recertification. So Carrie, I think you will have to take yourself off mute to share that.
Well, I want to, first of all, thank everybody for all of their hard work. I know this has been a trying time, and, please don't hesitate to email if you have any questions. I've been posting a lot of comments, trying to respond to people that have requested, but we did process extensions, so there's nobody eligible to recertify until mid-October. Most people will be the end of October. But if you know anybody that is ready and wants to recertify in May or June, we are going to be sending a pin to anybody that like a proud to be a CPST or proud to be an instructor 2020 pin to people that recertify in May and June. We haven't announced it yet. We will announce it on our Facebook page in the next couple of days. But if you have technicians that have asked you about it, they just have to contact us and we will change their certification end date to June 30. And then we'll just look at all of the recerts and send out the pins. So some of you have asked about the pins. We're going to try to do that. And again, email me or call if you have any questions or, if I can help out. The only other thing I really wanted to mention, and I know we're short on time, is we did change the amount of time needed to add a course online. We know that a lot of you have funds that need to be used by October, and you may be in a little bit of a time crunch. So you can add a course online now at 4 weeks instead of 6. But if you want to add a class within 4 weeks, we're happy to help. Just reach out to me. We can make sure that you get the materials that you need because we know that everybody is in a crunch, and I will do everything I can to help you. So that was it.
Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate your input and your patience and your ability to work with all the technicians and the coordinators across the country. So again, kudos to you folks and your team.
I think that that's all of the questions. I appreciate everybody. We have a big list of people who would like to participate in the roundtable moving forward. That's really exciting for us to see. So thank you for that.
That's fantastic. Well, then in closing, again, echo what she said. Oh, there we go. My apologies. Forgot to advance the slides. Thank you for everything that you do. This meeting was a result of your feedback at the various conferences across the country and such, meeting with board members and such. The board sincerely appreciates this opportunity to meet with you. We also appreciate the time and expertise of our speakers, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. We are truly grateful for you, to Adele and Randy, Tammy. We really appreciate all that you do. We are sincerely interested in how we can support this group of highly professional and dedicated individuals. As an additional resource in the chat box while this was going on, it was asked if the webinar could be made available. And it is being recorded, and it will be accessible on that state coordinator page that we talked about at National Child Passenger Safety Board or in NCPSB.org. So with that, I'm going to return you to the rest of your day, give you back about 9 minutes. Thank you again for all that you do, your dedication, your professionalism, your passion. We appreciate that. And stay safe, stay healthy, and be well.